Hello, my name is Rashida Lawrence, and this is my leadership video, which will take you through my decision to enroll in the accelerated online program for organizational leadership. My experiences while involved in the program, and lastly, we'll talk a little bit about what leadership is to me and where I see myself going in the future months, years, and decades. The way that I came to this program was quite interestingly. I had an 18-year career. Actually, I'm still involved in it on a part-time basis, but I started out in radio in Charlotte, North Carolina, then on to Buffalo, New York, Wichita, Kansas, Dallas, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, and New Orleans, Louisiana. This career was one that I really enjoyed. I loved it. As the economy changed, the industry started to change as well. There was a lot of downsizing of jobs. In the past, if you were willing to move around, you could pretty much guarantee yourself a position, at a radio station. And as the industry has gotten smaller, the jobs are just not there like they used to be. Well, I didn't want to be left out in the cold on the outside of the industry, still trying to hang on to something that wasn't there anymore. So I decided that I would get a graduate degree and move my life into the public sector, which is something else that I have thoroughly enjoyed throughout my radio career. I've always made it a point to do things for the community, assist people less fortunate than myself, particularly women and girls, because I am a girl. It seems a natural fit for me to be able to develop and work with women and girls. So that was a decision that I made. I was planning on actually moving back to Buffalo so that I could go to the traditional campus and begin my studies. And much like life can do, a life curve happened. I found out that my sister was diagnosed with follicular lymphoma and that she would have to undergo chemotherapy, and over time she wound up having to have a stem cell transplant. So at first I decided that I was not going to involve myself in the program at all. And then at the last minute, I decided that I would do it online, which would allow me to stay here in Atlanta where I live, be able to assist my sister through her treatments, and be able to realize my own goals. And I'm glad that I actually did that. Right now, I'm happy to report my sister is in remission. And in a couple of weeks, I have my graduate degree. So I'm happy that I made that decision to, keep myself on my own priority list. And I think that that's another leadership skill that I brought with me to this program, but there are several others that I have gained. And we'll talk a little bit more about the leadership skills that I have gained throughout this program. But first, I really believe that I underestimated the amount of time and effort that it would take to be involved in this program. To be honest with you, I had not read a book that I hadn't chosen myself since 1999. I hadn't been on anyone's deadline in a really long time. And the thing that became the most problematic for me was probably dealing with the group dynamic. Prior to this coursework, I would have said that I was a team player and a people person, but I found out fairly quickly that I actually prefer to work alone. And I don't know if it was an effect of some personal issues that were going on. Like I said, I was going through some family things with my sister's health. There was just a lot going on through this process. And I really had a short temper for dealing in the group dynamic. However, I was able to quickly get myself in check and find a groove, if you will, that worked for me with trying to maneuver through this particular portion of the coursework. So one of the first classes that we took dealt with decision making. And that course actually helped me quite a bit in deciding things in my own personal life and it also helped me professionally. I've been working for Bank of America here in Atlanta for almost 2 years, and upon taking these courses, I thought that I would be able to continue as how things had been. And I found out quickly that I needed to make some changes in my work life in order to facilitate the coursework. So I had to change my schedule at work, which was a great decision. I had not even thought about that before taking the decision-making course. So I'm grateful that that lesson was taught fairly quickly, because it gave me the tools to weigh out the cause and effect of the changes that I was planning to make. And I think that my job and myself were both benefited from the decision to go ahead and change my work schedule. Another thing that really grew me as a leader, if you will, was the group dynamic. I mentioned it earlier that, I'd had some issues with that. And primarily it was because I found out that it takes me a really long time to trust people. So because I really didn't know a lot about my cohorts, and because I did not know their skill level or their education, I usually came into the group almost in protective mode. I had a lot going on. I didn't have a lot of time for a bunch of side conversations, if you will. And so it proved problematic. And as we went on with the coursework, I realized as a leader, it's really not side conversations. It's necessary to be able to build trust within a team dynamic. You've got to put in that extra time to kind of know each other personally, so that we can build the kind of rapport that we need to be able to trust each other to get the work done that needs to be done. Like I said earlier, it brings about that trust that you need to establish the culture, of which was another component that we learned about corporate culture and how to develop that. And that was probably one of my most favorite courses, dealing with developing that culture. So I see the importance of that, and I look forward to being able to show some of the skills that I learned in that capacity. As a leader, I also see myself as being an advocate for my teammates, or at least that's how I want to be seen. In a past management position, I was over about 35 people in 2 departments, and I was so inundated with work that I did not take the time to actually develop relationships with those people. I did not recognize them enough. And that's another thing that's very important in trying to build that team dynamic, is recognizing your coworkers. I did not recognize them enough. I thought to myself, well, every 2 weeks we recognize you with a paycheck. And so that was my philosophy on that. And I'm glad that I was able to be exposed to this information, so that I now see that recognition is key. Most people are not driven by financial compensation as I thought before. And I missed an opportunity during that time to really connect with people, to develop them, to motivate and to inspire them. So I look forward to being able to move into that space where I'm an advocate for my staff, and not only just developing my own career, but being able to develop their career as well. So, as I move into my leadership opportunities, the first thing that I would like to embark upon is getting a position with a nonprofit organization, preferably the American Diabetes Society or another organization that deals with diabetes. I am a diabetic. I've known since I was 18 years old. When I went off to college, I had to take a physical, and I found out at the physical that I do have type 2 diabetes. Over the years, I've gone through the denial stage where I acted like I didn't have it. And now as an adult, things have gotten worse, and I am now on insulin for my diabetes. So I would like to take the knowledge that I've learned and my personal experiences to benefit the diabetic community. After I do that, I would also like to start my own nonprofit organization, which is going to be called DIVAS. It stands for Developing Intelligent, Vital, and Accountable Sisters. And it's something that I came up with when I lived in Buffalo. As I was living in the city, I had a lot of opportunities to speak to kids and be out amongst the community. And I saw a need to be able to mentor, if you will, and engage young people. And as I stated earlier, you know, I am a girl, so I absolutely feel the connection with girls and women. So that organization will, of course, deal with different aspects of the program. Actually, will deal with different issues. One being girls as they matriculate into high school, and those girls that are transitioning from high school into college. So I actually came up with this program. It's called Who Runs the World Girls, and I've done it for 3 years in Buffalo, New York, and I did it in Atlanta 3 years ago. It's a back to school event that actually partners girls ages 13 to 18 with professional women in medicine, education, health and beauty, just all facets of the work world. We partner them with the young ladies, and they pretty much share their experiences in hopes to inspire and motivate them to be productive women. So this is an event that is near and dear to my heart. This year I didn't do it because of the amount of workload that is in the MOL 630. I just couldn't put it together this year, but we'll be back next year for the 4th Who Runs the World Girls Back to School event. I also did an event in Dallas, Texas, which was a women's empowerment seminar. And what we did there was we worked with unemployed and underemployed women, providing them with resume writing skills, interviewing skills. We had a job fair, there was a health fair. I had the CEO of a large organization who came in and talked to the women about how to take their vision into entrepreneurship. So it was an awesome event. We were able to benefit about 150 women, and I would like to be able to do that again. I did it just 2 years in Dallas, and at some point I'm gonna bring that back again. So that's the future for me. I really see myself finishing up my 501c3 process. I'm in the middle of it now. I've gotten someone to assist me with the paperwork, so as soon as that's complete, then I'll be up and running. And I see myself within the next 12 to 18 months being able to enact these programs and really see myself benefiting the community in a positive way through helping the clients and by hiring qualified people to be able to assist the clients. So I thank you all for this past 18 months of instruction, and I really see myself being able to take the information that I've learned into a place that will definitely affect the community. And as I close, I will end with my personal mission statement, which is leadership is a responsibility that cannot be taken lightly. As the head of an organization, the lives and livelihood of those that are in the employ of the organization falls squarely on the shoulders of the leader. I will rise to that occasion and will take into account the needs of my staff and properly plan for current and future situations that may arise. I will dedicate my time to developing my staff to their highest ability. I will make a point to develop myself personally so that I am equipped with what I need to pour into those that work with me. I thank you so very much, and